Hi students, welcome to Wisdom Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to see class 9 biology. Okay, the fundamental unit of life. Have you come across the word fundamental unit in any of your subjects? Yes, in physics, we come across the word fundamental unit. There are 7 fundamental units in physics. 7 fundamental units in physics. What are all that 7 fundamental units we have shown? For example, mass. Mass is one of the fundamental unit, fundamental quantity. Its unit is kilogram. Time is one of the fundamental quantity. Is fundamental unit is second. Right? Now we have to know what is fundamental unit. Fundamental unit, it is a small part which can used to analyze a complex thing as a whole. Okay, by keeping the small thing, we can analyze a complex structure as a whole. That is the meaning of fundamental unit. It is a smallest part. It is a smallest part used to analyze a complex thing as a whole. Right? This is the meaning of fundamental unit. Now, what is life? Life doesn't have any definite meaning. Okay, life, the meaning of the life is very descriptive. According to biology, the meaning of life is a characteristic. It is a characteristic which distinguishes the physical body which have a biological process. Right? That is, any physical body which having a biological process is called as life. Okay, we all know that in the universe, each and every organism, each and every thing or a part will possess some physical body, because each and every particle will have some mass and volume, so it's going to occupy some space, right? But it need not to be all the physical body is having the biological process. So here come the differentiation that a thing or object is alive or not alive. Right? If anything or these both object is having a physical body, but the object which is telling us alive will have a biological process, and object which we are telling it is not alive, it is a non-living organism, will not have a biological process. Okay, how come you know that any organism is living or non-living? By seeing itself, we can say some organism is living or not non-living things, right? That's the basic thing. How? A living organism will eat. The living organism will respire, breathing. Right? The living organism will shout or speak. These kind of actions, by seeing itself, we can say that an organism is a living organism, or the object or a thing is an alive. But not alive organisms, or they will not grow, they will not shout, eat, anything else. Okay, right. Now we are going to see what is the fundamental unit of life. Right, our topic is a questionnaire. We have to find out the answer for this questionnaire. Right, for example, we know that the fundamental unit of mass is kilogram, the fundamental unit of time is second. Likewise, we have to find out what is the fundamental unit of life. We came to know that what is fundamental unit and what is life. Right, now we have to find out the answer for this questionnaire. We saw that any organism is alive, it will show some characteristic. That characteristics is eating, breathing, and reproduction. These are all the characteristics that we can tell that an organism is alive or not alive. But this is, we can see from outside. That is, physically we can see this changes in the organism. But to make these changes visible, some process had to be done inside. Right? Are you agreeing that? Yes, of course. For example, eating is a process which we can see physically. It done by some system. That is digestive system. Breathing is taken care by respiratory system. Reproduction is taken care by reproductive system. Right. The next thing is, these systems are made up of different organs, right? Actually, group of organs are joined together to form a system. Okay, Digestive system consists of many body parts. For example, stomach, intestine. The next thing is anus and mouth. These are all some of the parts which will involved in digestive system. In respiratory system, we will see that nose, trachea and lungs. Right. In reproductive system, testes, ovaries. These kind of parts are involved in this system. Now, these parts are made up of, each and every part are made up of tissues. What is tissues? We will see about the tissues detailedly in the next chapter itself. Now, tissues is a group of cells which will form a tissues. Group of tissues will form an organ. Right? Tissues is simply a group of cells. Okay. These tissues are different types of tissues are there. For example, xylem and phloem and connective tissue and epithelial tissue. There are many types of tissue. Each and every tissue is responsible for making each and every body parts, right? These tissues are made up of group of cells, right? So finally we are getting the answer. Cell is the fundamental unit of life, right? Now actually we saw from top to bottom. Now we are going to bottom to top approach. Group of cells are joined together to form a tissue. Group of tissue joined together to form an organ. Group of organ will join together form a system. These group of systems will join together give a organism. Okay, these activities are done by any living organism, right? After decoding this, you came to know that cell is the fundamental unit of life. Okay, now this is the only reason cell is the fundamental unit of life. One more reason is that why cell is the fundamental unit of life. Now go to the meaning of life. Life is a characteristic that distinguishes the physical body which have a biological process, right? That is, any physical body which have a biological process, we will call it as life. There is some life is happening. So if life is happening, that organism is a living organism. We know that. So this biological process we are finding out in cell. So the basic metabolic activities are happening in the cell, so we call it as a cell as a fundamental unit of life, right? In cell there is a metabolic activities, right? This biological process, or we are calling as the metabolic activities, that is happening in the cell. What kind of metabolic activities happening in the cell? If suppose one organism is alive, we will see some characteristics, especially reproduction is a major thing that living organism will do. That kind of reproduction we can see in the cell, because cell is dividing, cell is multiplying, right? We know that. So the reproduction is happening in the cell, so there is a metabolic activities in the cell, so it is a fundamental unit of life. Okay, we saw that why cell is the fundamental unit of life. Okay, now we are going to see how cell became as a fundamental unit of life. That is the history of the cell we are going to see. First of all, the term cell is derived by Robert Hooke in the year of 1665. Okay, he was examining in his primitive microscope, he was examining the cork, that is a bark of the tree, that is the outer layer of the tree is called as a bark of the tree. While examining the cork, he is seeing some honeycomb structure, right? Honeycomb structure will be like this, right? This will be some honeycomb structure. This kind of structure it was seen in the microscope. So what it termed is, it termed these small boxes as a cell, right? In Latin word, the small boxes is termed as a cell. Likewise only the term cell has been coined. The first time Robert Hooke in the year 1665. Later in the year of 1674, Leeuwenhoek, what he find out means, he was find out in the microscope free living cells in the pond water, right? Robert Hooke was examined the cork, that is the dead cell. Leeuwenhoek was first time seeing the living cells in the pond water, right? So living cells means some metabolic activities are happening inside the cell. Some movement inside the cell he was finding first time by the Leeuwenhoek in 1674. The next development in the cell was found out by Robert Brown. In the year 1831, Robert Brown was the first man who found that inside the cell there is a nucleus, right? Inside the cell there is a presence of nucleus. About this nucleus we are going to see detail in the coming videos, okay? The next development in the cell is Purkinje in the year of 1839 he found that there is a presence of protoplasm in the cell. Protoplasm is the combination of nucleus, cell organelles, cytoplasm, whatever the things present inside the membrane of the cell, that is cell membrane of the cell, is called as protoplasm, right? We are going to see detail about that cell organelles, cytoplasm and nucleus in the coming slides. Okay. The next development was done by Schleiden and Swan in the year of 1838 and 39. They was proposing the cell theory. Okay, actually the cell theory having some three basic tenets, right? The first two tenets was given by Schleiden and Swan. What they are telling is all living organism is composed of one or more cells, right? Each and every organism is made up of single cell or more cells. And the second tenet is cell is the basic unit of life. They are telling that cell is the basic unit for the life. These two tenets is given by Schleiden and Swan in the cell theory. The later expanding the cell theory was given by Virchow in the year of 1855. 1855, Virchow is telling that all cells are arise from pre-existing cell. That is, the cell is developed from the own itself. Okay, it is getting divided by itself. For example, now human beings are growing or developing by means of fusion of the two cells, right? This thing is not happening here. Majority of the cells are getting divided from their own cell itself. That is, they are coming to tell all cells arise from pre-existing cells. This is the history how the cell is evolved and the parts inside the cells has been founded in the later years. Actually, the term cell was coined in the year 1665 itself, but in 1831 and then only we are getting deeper into the cell, that we are finding out that there is a nucleus in the cell which is responsible for dividing of the cell. Okay. In cell theory, we saw that all organisms are made up of single or many cells, right? So, based upon the cells, the organism are divided into two types, that is unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Unicellular organism is an organism which having a single cell that is responsible for all body functions, right? In multicellular organism, the organism which having a many cells that group together in a body and do different functions, right? Based upon the cells, the organism split up into two types. Now, based on nucleus, the organism is going to again split up into two types, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes, right? What is prokaryotes? Prokaryotes is a cell which does not have a well-defined nucleus, okay? Because there will be no nuclear membrane in the nucleus. There will be no nuclear membrane in the nucleus, and there will be no organelles. There will be no organelles and no nuclear membrane. There is no well-defined nucleus. No well-defined nucleus. Right. Eukaryotes is quite opposite to this. Definite nucleus will be present in the cell, and organelles will be present. Cell organelles will be present, and nuclear membrane will be present. Right? You know the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, there will be no definite nucleus. Here there will be a definite nucleus. The nucleus is responsible for the division of the cell. Okay. Unicellular organisms are divided into two types, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. For example, prokaryote. The example of prokaryote in unicellular is bacteria. Bacteria are prokaryotic unicellular organism, right? Eukaryotic example is amoeba. amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas. These organisms are eukaryotic unicellular organisms, right? The next thing is multicellular organism. Multicellular organism also divided into two types, that is prokaryote and eukaryote, right? Is there any example for prokaryotes in multicellular organism? No. Eukaryote, as usual, humans, birds, animals, etc. Right? Why there is no prokaryotic multicellular organism? Because actually we are going to see in the lesson of diversity of the living things. There is a process called evolution, right? One, the cell is evoluted into the eukaryotic thing. Okay. First of all, the cell is a unicellular organism. The next level of development is cell is joined together, group V, called as a multicellular organism, right? The second level of development is inside the cell there is no defined region of nucleus. Okay. The next thing is there is a cell and there is a definite region for nucleus. Once in evolution process any development has came, it will not be reback into the older position. Okay. For example, we are the Homo sapiens. We came from the monkeys or chimpanzees. We know that, right? But once the human beings are evoluted as now, there is no possible way that we can get back into the chimpanzees, right? That the reverse process is not possible. Likewise, in unicellular section itself, the eukaryotes has been came. That is, the well-defined nucleus has been came. So after unicellular only the multicellular organisms has came into the existence. So there will be no possibility of prokaryotes, right? Only there will be a eukaryotes. For example, humans and birds, animals, etc. Okay, right? In next video, we are going to see the parts which are responsible inside the cell, what are all the functions happening inside the cell. Okay, in this video we saw that the answer, what is the fundamental unit of life, that is cell, why cell is called as a fundamental unit, and how cell is called as a fundamental unit, that is the history of the cell, and we saw some introduction to the cell, that is cell is divided into two types, that is unicellular and multicellular. Based upon the cell, organism is divided into two types, and based upon the nucleus, organism is divided into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We saw that what is prokaryote, what is eukaryote, right? Okay guys, in this video we are winding up this itself. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the section, and if you like the video and share with your friends. Thank you.